Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up.
Hello friends, and welcome again to another Street Fighter Duel video.
Okay, legends, welcome back to Street Fighter Duel, and this time we're back. So I traveled, I found a new place, good internet, stable connection, so now we can do more Street Fighter Duel content, and I'm focusing on Street Fighter again because I'm enjoying the game and I made a new account and I'm gonna play it and talk to you about it. I'm trying to get my hands on the SEA version, the APK for it. I can't find it. Even when I downloaded it, it transferred me to Crunchyroll again and I can't do anything. So I just wanna see if anybody have an idea, let me know so I can download it, so I can have the opportunity to play the SEA version. As you know, any guide for SEA version made, if I wanna make it, and due to this version it won't work because of the lack of units and the changes in many units, such as Zangief. He doesn't stun in the SEA version, he just deals bleed with his second skill, which is really bad actually, and we want to go and check it out and try to play it, maybe make some guides and help somebody else or some other players, because you know we have experience here. Anyway, a new Bison had dropped to the game, and this Bison is similar to the other Bison, except that he have the Virgil survivability, but it's not due to some period, but it's almost indefinite, but there's a 3-second window that you can bypass it, and we'll be talking about that. Really an awesome unit, a great unit actually, but needs hard investment. You need to max him out to get his cars, at least to get him to SSS, so you can have his cars actually. You need his cars, and his cars will help him out actually to be more stable. So let's go and talk about him. Let's go to the gallery first, because it will show us everything that we have about him. Here we go, he's here somewhere down there. So Overlord Bison, absolutely a great unit, very good unit actually. He's a damage dealer with a kit of a tech unit, so he's tech and he's balanced, so you're gonna go and train your balance 3 and use tech gears on him. You can swap any tech gears. If you build Juri's tech, Juri is a tech unit actually. If you build her gears, you can swap them and put them on him. So first of all, we're gonna talk about his passive, because his passive is the main or the best spell in his kit. So we'll be talking about it. Invitation to Hell, you already know it. It will blow you away. So if there's a surviving friendly fighter other than Bison, so other than Bison, the initial basic Bison, because if they're both on the same lineup, it will register that one of them is dead if they're exploding, so the other one will die immediately with the hit, so it doesn't count this way. When this fighter takes fatal damage, the fighter HP will not fall below 1 HP for 3 seconds. For 3 seconds, he will be immune for 3 seconds, and this refreshes after 3 seconds actually. So you have a small window if you have damage over time. So this is immediately indicates to you and tells you what counters him, and it's the same unit that he counters as well. So what counters him is Visconde Vega. With the bleed, he will go and bypass this, because it bypasses immunities. Not only bypasses immunities, but it will also keep ticking him, so he will not recover that much HP when it's triggering, and it will end him. We tried it so many times. Visconde Vega is the best counter for him, but you need a Goken with him on the lineup, or he will just, because he consumes his HP to attack, and he will drop really down on his HP, so Bison would finish him. This is talking about both of them maxed out and built. So this fighter receives fatal damage. He will not go below 1 HP for 3 seconds, and the fighter will recover 60% of max HP over this period, so it will gradually give him 60% of his HP. Also, Invitation to Hell will be unleashed. Summon a vortex beneath a random enemy that is equivalent to the Agony Vortex level 1. We'll be talking about the Agony Vortex next. Trigger interval 3 seconds, so every 3 seconds. That's great. So after triggering Invitation to Hell for the first time, Overlord Bison will enter the Infernal Lord state until the end of the battle. Now what's in the Infernal Lord or Infernal Overlord state? Increase attack by 15%, but cannot be healed over by other fighters. So he can, just like normal Bison, he will not get heals, but he will heal himself by himself. After triggering Invitation to Hell, attack will be increased by an additional 15%, stacking up to 60%. The cap is 60% of increasing on his damage I think until the end of the battle. So there's they didn't say that it will go away anytime, but it stacks up to 60%. So I guess it's until the end of the battle. Now his level 2 increases the damage of the vortex summoned by invitation to hell by 20%. The vortex summoned by invitation to hell is equivalent to agony vortex, level 3. Upon entering the battle, invitation to hell will be unleashed once. However, the damage of the vortex summoned will be reduced by 25%. So it will be reduced by 25%, but he will always do it, which is really good. It's not only the first time. Upon entering the battle, invitation to hell will be unleashed, but it will be less in damage. But every time it will be the vortex, when he explodes, he will do this vortex, which is really good. Actually, it does a lot of damage, equivalent to vortex agony level 3, which is really nice. So we'll be talking about the vortex. I think it's C2, the C2. So his super, it's an AoE. It's absolutely nice. I loved it. I loved how the way it looks. Does it do a lot of damage? Yes. Does it do better damage than Leonardo and Visconti Vega? Absolutely not. There's still the top charts in damage, but he's close to them. I can say he's close to them, especially when he triggers. If you use his C2, actually, he will trigger defensive reduction. We'll be talking about that. Summon a Phantom to unleash a Psycho Torrent attack together. That will hit enemies in a large area. It means he will hit everybody. Deal soul damage. Soul damage is equal to true damage, but true damage do not have a counter. Soul damage still have a counter. Actually, with is soul damage reduction. If you see it, it's on Athlete. I think Athlete Chun-Li has it with her C1 with the Vortex, and Zangief with his passive, he has it as well. That is equal to 418% of attack and reducing hit targets. It means the targets that are hit or struck by this attack by 10% for 10 seconds. For 10 seconds, they will lose 10%, which is good actually versus bossing as well. So you reduce the boss's damage by 10%. It maybe gives you a window to continue and doing another attack or another combo rotation. Increases the damage to 480 of attack. If Infernal Overlord is active, it means if he tries to die the first time and go to 1 HP, the fighter crit rate will be increased by 18% for the duration of this skill. It means for the 3 seconds, which is really good. Or the duration of this skill if the Infernal Lord is active, which is good. So his C2. So summon a vortex beneath a random enemy. The vortex will continuously draw the enemies in an area. It means like a black hole, a small black hole, dealing soul damage that is equal to 330% of attack. Then it ends with an explosion that deals soul damage that is equal to 182% of attack to enemies in an area. It means it will suck them all together, deal a little bit damage over time, and then it will pop and do an explosion, deal damage over time. Instead of him exploding, his vortex will explode. So increase the damage of the vortex to 380% of attack and damage of the explosion to 209% of attack. If Infernal Overlord is active, the target damage reduction will be reduced by 25% for the duration of the vortex. So if the vortex is sucking up the units and explode, this whole duration, they will lose 25% of damage reduction. What Honda does, Rich Honda does, but he does it with his vortex, which is absolutely crazy. Now, when he enters the fight, it happens. When he does his C2, it happens, but it doesn't stay or stack. It's the duration of the vortex. So he needs to keep exploding and dying, so it keeps going on and on and on. This is what you need to remember. So he's not a solid debuffer for the entire fighting combo, but there's a span of a window, something between 2.5 to 3 seconds, that you will be doing damage to the boss or the enemies with them having a reduction of 25%, which is really good. Increase the damage of the vortex to 400% of attack and the damage of the explosion to 219% of attack, which is really good. He amplifies his damage. Now his third skill, the Infernal King Strike, which is really great here. It's an AoE as well. He doesn't push himself and go and explode and stuff. No, this is different. So vanish and appear above the nearest enemy. So mainly the tanks or anybody who jumps near him. Like if the third unit jumps in the front to hit him, he triggers the C3, he will just disappear and reappear, play peekaboo in front of him. Then deliver a crushing blow to the enemies in an area. It becomes AoE, dealing soul damage that is equal to 488% of attack. Also the soul damage taken by hit targets will be increased by 8% for 20 seconds. It means after that, all of the targets that got hit by this attack, they will take an increase by 8% of soul damage by 20%. So if you're playing a full team that deals soul damage This is absolutely crazy. So Trendy Akuma is a great unit. Normal Akuma is a great unit. Rose also amplifies her damage, which is not that much, but because she's not a damage dealer, but she deals damage, but is really good. And other units that deal soul damage, this will be magnificent to them. So any soul damage unit previously that wasn't that good actually, or was not shining that good, with this skill, an 8% increase is huge for soul damage, okay? Just keep that in mind. At level 2, increase the damage to 561% of attack. At level 3, if Infernal Overlord is active, the soul damage taken by hit targets will be increased by an additional 12% for 20 seconds. Now, I read this, and here it says an 8%, and here they say an additional 12%. Does this mean 20%? I don't know. I didn't test the calculation with, without, and even with, without, we can't know if it's adding up or it's just changing the 8% to 12%. So his fighting spirit, which is really awesome, his fighting spirits change everything. So Subtle Cloak, he increased the speed. So his basic initial speed is 115, he gets 20. That will put him up at 135, and if you give him the fast chant, he will go to 100, I think 55, something like that. So HP bonus 19%, huge. He gets huge multipliers. So if you go to soul power and give him more soul power, these will affect him, because every percent for him is multiplied basically 2 times by normal characters. Normal characters don't get 19%, they get 10, 8, 7.5%. You don't see 7.5 with this character. No, you don't. HP 19%, attack bonus 37%. Just unlocking this will give him 37% more attack, which is crazy. Crit damage 15%, also awesome. When Infernal Overlord is active, the fighter attack can ignore 20% of the target's defense. It means if they have, it's not damage reduction, it doesn't go for the damage mitigation or reduces the damage reduction for the enemy. It just removes 20% of their damage, so of their defense, so you ignore defense. So at his assist is cool actually. When the assisted fighter receives fatal damage, it means they'll wanna die. And make sure if you put him on top of another Bison with his assist, he will always be near fatal damage. If you put him on top of Virgil, on top of Witch Jury, they're always near fatal damage. So a vortex is summoned beneath a random enemy. This vortex will draw enemies. It will become AoE in an area continuously, dealing soul damage that is equal to 265% of Overlord Bison attack. Then it will end up with an explosion, deal soul damage that is equal to 146% of Overlord Bison attack to enemies in an area. It can only be triggered once per battle. Okay, I mean, it's good to use it once, but yeah, what's the point about if it's only once per battle? I mean, if you put it on normal unit, they will die, and actually this will trigger. If you put it on Bison, it will explode and deal 1, but it will not continue and deal again. Which is kinda sad, but hey, it's better than nothing. It's still an okay-ish spell, I would say. So at level 10, if Infernal Lord is active, the vortexes of Invitation to Hell and Agony Vortex, it means his C2 and his passive, will deal additional true damage that is equal to 1% of the target's max HP during the attack. This is capped at 15% of Overlord Bison's attack. 15%, capped at 15%. The 1% could be a lot actually, so it's capped at 15%, which is good actually, more damages. Upon triggering Invitation to Hell, the attack of other friendly fighters will be increased by 15% until the end of the battle. And if you want him to buff, it's actually the plus 20 that you should aim for. So at plus 20, the first time his passive triggers, he will start buffing the teammates by 15%. It's not the biggest buff. The biggest buff is still 25%, and it's more by Raphael. Raphael is the biggest buff, I think, in the game by passively, and it goes and goes. And then there's Eva Ryu and the other characters that get it to 25%, just Gormagala can, but it's capped by a time window. Eva Ryu until the end of the battle, and this one, 15% doesn't stack until the end of the battle one time, which is good actually, it's not that bad. At plus 30, when Infernal King Strike is unleashed, I think it's the C3, for the first time and hits targets, summon a vortex beneath the target and increase the vortex damage by 20%. The vortex is equivalent to Agony Vortex level 3. It means it will also debuff them with more soul damage taken, which is decent, I think. I think it's very cool. His cars. So his most important car is this 3 out of 3. Just try to get him to 3 out of 3 if you build him. and he will be optimal, fully optimal for you. After triggering Invitation to Hell, the fighter's damage bonus will be increased by 12%, while their damage reduction will be reduced by 12%, and it stacks up 2 times and lasts until the battle. Stacks up 2 times, you're gonna get the 24% damage reduction until the end of the battle. You're gonna trigger it twice, and until the end of the battle, you don't need to refresh and go and do it again. So this will make him more consistent for bossing. This one will make him a champion for bossing, actually, because he debuffs a lot. Plus, he deals even more damage than Rich Honda. So we might see in the future a change, removing Rich Honda, but playing this maxed. You need to max him. Rich Honda works at 1 copy. This guy works when he's maxed. You would see him being maxed and played against the other units, after triggering Invitation to Hell. Okay, Invitation to Hell is his passive, so it needs to be triggered twice, and then you will get it all the time on the boss. You can play him with Rich Honda as well. So Rich Honda will just keep doing damage reduction with his super, and this guy, every time he explodes, or Invitation to Hell explodes, and he dies by some kind of damage type, because I think if he's going to die, I think all the team is going to die, unless you put him in the front, so in some weird scenario, because always Rich Honda is in front of him. But anyway, it can stack up, and Rich Honda, you can keep doing the same shenanigan with him. So you can play him as a C2 if you want, with Fire Aidon team and Rich Honda, or you can play him as a super, or you can play him just to stand there and do nothing, just explode and die. At 6 out of 6, after triggering Invitation to Hell, damage sharing will be activated. This is really good. This will save your entire lineup, actually. At 6 out of 6, he might save your lineup. This will cause 20% of the damage received by all allies, the 20% by all allies. Fighters to be transferred to Overlord Bison lasts until the end of the battle. So this will be last until... It will trigger. So it will trigger the Invitation to Hell for the first time, and then every damage that they take, total damage by the 3 units, the other 2 units or 3 units, 20% of the total will be transferred to him. It means if you're having him on the main lineup with 2 other units, 10% damage reduction from this and that will go to him, and he will not die. He will just keep exploding, which is really nice, actually. So I wanted to show you something in here in the tower. So we have the tower unlocked and we can use it. Now the best optimal line, if all of these units are built, okay, which is this lineup. Now this lineup will have a Virgil, will have a Witch Jury, will have a Bison and a Bison. Now Bison and Bison, if they're the only sole survivors, this lineup will fail. Now if you manage to keep Virgil in the form of the demon, so if you can stack up the attacks and get him to 100% or the 100, I think, I don't know what it's called, I forgot. What is it called? What is it called, the stacks? What is it called? Demon Energy. If you keep his Demon Energy at 100, or just keep it up near to 100, he will stay in demon form. In demon form, his HP can't go below 1%. So the explosion from the normal Bison, plus all the explosions and the vortexes from the Overlord Bison, will absolutely destroy the enemies. Plus, Virgil will deal a ton of damage. Now, I have him at 1 copy. I put him here for testing. It was working fine, actually. It was really nice, and let me show you how it goes. Now, for me, I have him at 1 copy. I can't get him to 100% and transfer immediately before he dies. So I need to use the Virgil EX to keep him surviving for the first time, and then after that, it just like I go auto-attack and auto-attack and auto-attack to keep him up in the demon form. So let's go and test this out. Actually, before this, I need to use something else. I don't need the healing, so we'll do this. Where is it? So we can get more rotations from him. This will be better. I didn't think about it. Thinking about it now, it might help. So hopefully this could help. I could use it right now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And again, no cast. 1, 2. And he's transforming. So here, a C3, and he transformed, he didn't die. So here we go, we can use the heart, or the... and it didn't work. Okay, Virgil will die, or we can use the EX move of Virgil, so he can't die anymore. Okay, here we go. C3 and his C3, and he died. But we have, as you see, Witch Jury, which is not dying, and she still have a full life. Hopefully within the time bracket that we have, we can destroy this. Hopefully. I say hopefully because I know it will not happen. I could have waited a little bit actually, but it's okay. It's okay. I should have waited. Is she hang? No, she's not hanging. We can wait a little bit actually. She's not hanging on the ceiling. And we can use the AX move again. Will she die now? Yeah, she did die, so it didn't work. But I could have done two times. I think I could have done 2 times, and we can do this. Yeah, as you see, it took them a lot, and these all are units that does not deal that much of damage. Who did the damage? Actually, it's Bison, the normal one. Why did he do so much damage? Because he's maxed. Look at everybody else. Now, Witch Jury, we didn't use it to her max capabilities. Virgil is 1 copy of himself, so he will not deal that much of damage. And Overlord Bison, 70 million damage with 1 copy. Absolutely great. Now, let me go and show you something as well. If we go to the trials, I will show you. Somebody was asking me, isn't 1 copy of Overlord Bison better than 1 copy of Visconde Vega? Absolutely not. Visconde Vega bypasses immunities, ticks over time, and he's faster paced than this unit. We're gonna go and show it all over for you. Now, I was trying to do this combo. I managed to keep Elena alive, and actually we went overtime, but I couldn't finish the entire lineup because only his damage with 1 unit couldn't help. So we're gonna use a similar lineup, but this time I'm gonna use these. Actually, we could save you. We don't need that, actually. We don't need that. Let me give somebody Infernal, any kind of Infernal, maybe you. And we need another unit here. He will go a lot below HP, so this might help him. So let's go and test how much damage can we do with this specific lineup. So here we go. I'm Bison at 1 copy. I have the gear of my jury on him. So here we go, C1, C2. All the healings I'm give it to him. So he should do relatively good damage. And here we go again. Some heals. Again, some heals. I need to do his C3, but I couldn't. I had a window, but I didn't do it. Again, so much heals and shields from Abel and from Summer Elena. And the C3. Yeah, we did the C3, and he almost died, but he doesn't die, so that's a good. And our Abel is dead. The first time he dies, I did this a lot. But as you see, do you see how much time it takes for him to kill the entire line? Not because he's weak or he's bad, but because all of these he's 1 copy and he doesn't bypass anything. And here we go. Here, we should kill this one. Yes, here we go. So we did finally finish it. It took us, I don't know, 70 seconds. And the damages is from him, a little bit of help, but that doesn't matter. Now, Visconde Vega. I leveled up a Visconde Vega. A normal one. 1 copy of him. I have an extra 1 copy of him because I'm building him. So we'll do this. Actually, let's give him some survivability because it's unfair. What is it? So C1, C2, C3. Okay. So, okay, I didn't level him up. I removed him. My bad. Where do we... Okay, here we go. So who did I level up instead of him? Virgil for testing, of course. So we remove Virgil and we put 1 copy of Visconde Vega. Okay, here we go. Yep, my friend. And take some gears. Where are you? Here we go. Take some gears. Maybe take something that we don't have. Yeah, Marshall. Marshall is good. Here, do we have anything? Let's give him the one for Vega. For Virgil. Okay, so. Here we go. Do you think we can do it in 70 seconds with him? Absolutely, yes. I think we can destroy it immediately. So, here we go. Do you think he's gonna die? I don't think he's gonna die in no way, shape, or form. Okay, here we go. First hit. And I think this will absolutely trash the enemies. Now, we need to keep him surviving, so don't die here. He has the shield on, so he's okay. He's okay, and we can heal. And we did heal. And here we go. And again, 1 hit. Boom. Look at them ticking. I think they should die now. Yep, 1, 2, And the 3. What shield does she have? I don't know what shield does she have. The shields from Hugo, maybe? Did they have Enable or something? What did they have? Yeah, as you see, it's insane amount of damage. Yeah, they had a Hugo. Hugo probably gave some heals. So, does one copy of Visconti Vega deal more damage than one copy of Bison? Absolutely yes, but it's not a comparison for that. Now, does he counter Visconti Vega, the new Bison? Absolutely. He trashes him. The new Bison, if you don't have a counter for Visconti Vega, he counters him. Because he stays alive, doesn't die by his bleed. Unless you have this time between them. I mean, Visconti Vega will kill the entire team, but if you want somebody else to survive and actually deal so much damage, to capitalize on that, you can use Bison. But of course, Visconti Vega, pair him up with this dude, Goken. Yeah, good luck killing Visconti Vega if he's with Goken. It's super hard. This is the thing about Visconti Vega. So yeah, that was the breakdown for our new Overlord Bison. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and let me know about your ideas and your opinions, and if you discovered a lineup that is great with them. I think with Virgil, the new Bison, the old Bison, this team will be great. And if you have a supporting unit in the backline, if somebody dies from them, like Witch Jury, that would be awesome because she hangs in the ceiling and then she will give the time for them to spiral and spiral. And yeah, that was it for the video.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, we thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.
Time to fight, time to fight.